The Bert Show.
They were friends, they were roommates, and then they started something a little bit more physical, and it changed everything. And she wanted our help on Friday with the texting tutor to say, like, we got to make some decisions about this relationship here.
Yeah, so at first it was cool because they were just friends and it was flirty and it was on both ends. But then one night they crossed that line of friendship and they hooked up. And so at that point she started to realize she might have been in a bit of a situation because she's starting to catch feelings for him. And with them being roommates, it was a little too close for comfort for her. So she felt like a change needed to come. Either they were going to stop hooking up and continue to be roommates. But if they were going to hook up, then she wanted either him to move out or she wanted her to move out, so that it wouldn't make it awkward for the friendship and for them being in the same place.
Now, this was an easy prediction on Friday. We knew he was going to hold on for dear life. Right?
Exactly what he did.
He did not want to move out of that situation. He was having his cake and eating it too. He liked the situation, but she's like, look, I would never move in with somebody this quickly if we just started dating. So we need to either redefine our relationship, but it's got to be one or the other. And he made the very mature decision during texting tutor and saying, why are we doing this during text? Which is what Kristen says every week.
Every single week.
We should never be doing these during text. It should always be a face-to-face. So that's where we left it off.
Yep, we laid the groundwork and they were going to have the conversation. And here's how the conversation went. I'm so weak. I admit it. I gave in and changed my mind.
Which is exactly what we told her not to do.
Right.
After you helped me text him, he came home and we talked about things that afternoon. He didn't understand why I wanted to make a dramatic change, like finding a new place to live just because we were testing the waters with each other. He said he didn't want to rush into anything, but also didn't want things to completely end. He was afraid that one of us moving out would end things because then we'd have to agree that we were officially dating or else we'd fizzle out since we weren't in the same household.
Wait, let's run over that one more time.
Yeah. I'm going to read that line again.
Yeah.
He was afraid that one of us moving out would end things because then we'd have to agree that we were officially dating or else we'd fizzle out since we weren't in the same household. Because, relationships don't survive unless you're living together.
Yeah. I told you he was going to hold on with everything. He had logic or not, man. He is throwing everything at the wall right now.
Yeah, he is.
However, he also didn't want to definitively stop hooking up for fear that this becomes serious and we are suddenly a couple already living together.
All right, so what he's saying here is I want this exactly the way it is right now. I want to continue to be physical. Nothing. He's like not even listening to anything she was saying.
Nothing. So he convinced me not to think too much about it. He said we are two people who enjoy being together and who happen to live in the same space. Wow. He convinced me to remove any labels or expectations for now. Then we can revisit in a few weeks or even months. I think he's right.
This guy was...
Oh, you kidding me?
Why let my overthinking ruin a really good thing? I mean, if we did move out and continue to date, I'd probably just be spending the night with him on most nights anyhow. So what's the difference? If anything, there's just less driving back and forth, LOL. For now, I'm going to focus on the convenience of the situation. No labels, no expectations, no overthinking. Ask me next month, and I may feel differently.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do that. All right, so maybe she's right here, though. Aren't we always saying focus where your feet are?
Yep.
Focus where your feet are.
Be in the present.
Be in the present, right?
It's a gift.
So they're in this situation right now, which has certainly changed, but she's having a great time. So she's anticipating it being like too much if he stays there. Maybe he's right. Maybe like let's not put labels on it. Let's just play this thing out, and if it doesn't work, then we'll try something different. But right now, it's great.
I wasn't mad at it at first. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not. If I were in his shoes, I wouldn't necessarily want to make these huge changes immediately either. But if I'm her, the only thing that would bother me is the line of him saying he's afraid that things would end if we just didn't live in the same place. Because that screams to me, you only like me because it's convenient.
Man, he was throwing every single thing at the wall to see what would stick.
Right.
Like used every single excuse as to why it would be best for them to keep the situation as is and still staying together. And, I agree with you, Mo. I kind of felt the same way. I'm like, this just started, kind of see where it goes and then decide how you want to proceed. And there is definitely a convenience factor, no doubt about it. And I agree with that. But you should never default to convenience just because sometimes what's worth it is hard.
Once again, we'll play this out. So he moves out. They continue to date because they're vibing so much, right? And then in just a few months, things are going so well that he goes, well, what are we going to do now? And she's going to go, well, you should move in with me. So they're going to end up in the exact same place. Am I wrong?
I mean, no, you're not wrong. I don't think that's what would happen because I don't think he's that into her, to be honest. I think if they were to move out, it would fizzle out, but that could happen.
I'm having a hard time focusing because I got to use the bathroom.
Is that it? Because I see how much pain you're in right now.
Well,
and I wasn't really exactly sure what was going on there.
That protein and grape Gatorade probably ain't sitting too well.
That sip and spill concoction I had earlier just hit the stomach.
Yeah.
And I got to go visit the ladies' room.
Go, get out.
Okay, thank you.
See you around.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The Bert Show.